What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. This is OddToxin Gaming. Today I have Austin Davis here. He's going to be showing us a Skull Servant deck profile. Austin, what'd you do today?
I went 2-1, going second place in our first Speed Duel locals here. Playing Skull Servant. Fairly straightforward stuff, nothing too terribly spicy. I felt good about the list. Side ultimately was, I think, where I could have improved upon, but my main deck itself I was very confident with. It did pretty much everything I wanted it to do. For the skill, I'm playing the Servant's skill. The way I saw Skull Servant, the vanilla Skull Servant in my hand, match 3, kind of wish I was doing the viral stuff, but for the most part, just sending a Skull Servant each turn is just too good to pass up. So we just played the Servant's skill there. And then as far as the monsters, of course, starting off with the 3 kings. It is the thing that keeps you alive. It is the thing that kills them. It does everything you want in your deck to do. It gains 1,000 for every king and vanilla Skull Servant in your grave. And then if it would die by battle, you can banish a copy of itself or vanilla out of your grave to bring it back there at the same spot. So that came up in several different applications here today, and it was just really strong. My next effect monster, I'm playing triple Goblin Zombie. He actually did a little bit of milling today, which is cool. Whenever he inflicts battle damage, he mills. But the main thing that he does is when he dies or gets sacked, or they can tribute him off. However, he leaves the field, he adds a zombie with, I believe it's 15 or 1,200 defense or lower from deck to hand. So he's usually searching your king. He can search a copy of himself, which comes up. About the only thing he can't search is one of your Zombinas, which is fine, because if anything, your Zombinas are going to float back into your goblins when they die, as opposed to, digging further. So Zombina, when she dies in your possession by any means, does have to be destroyed, floats back out of grave. So that came back, that kept me alive to dig into tech cards and things. I traded with giant rats, actually, and the like here today as well, and that was also pretty relevant. And then my final monster is just the 3 vanilla Skull Servants, who his only effect is opening in my hand whenever I don't need a skill. But other than that, yeah, he is just there to be yarded with the skill and power up your kings. The spell lineup starts fairly generic here. Triple Book of Moon is too good not to play in literally every deck. It just does everything you need a card to do. On top of that, I mained double Cosmic Cyclone. Those were actually my 21st and 22nd cards today. I did start this day playing 20, but right before we started, I figured maining some Moth Hate is probably not a bad idea. Probably my favorite card of the deck I played today was Creature Swap. It stole XYZ pieces today. It took Hammerhead, which kept me alive a little bit longer. And typically what you do with it is you either give them a Goblin Zombie to kill and get food for, you give them the hard-drawn Skull Servant, or you give them a king. And the cool interaction there is if I give you a king, it now checks your graveyard, goes to 0 attack. I say I have another king, run over it, you take that full damage, goes to my graveyard, and then I can banish out another name to bring it back to my side of the field. That very quickly closed out some matches today. And what's nice about this deck is you can play very slow right up until the point where you kill them. So Creature Swap, I think, was probably the spiciest card I played here today. And then final spell is 1 Book of Life. It's an extra monster reborn. It's a little bit of graveyard hate. That part didn't come up a ton, just because a lot of things either don't care about being in the graveyard or banish out, so it doesn't super come up. But more so for bringing back names out of my graveyard more than anything. And then final card is the Triple Haunted Shrine, which just keeps you alive. Each one is 2 reborns. It negates the effects whenever it flashes back out of grave. It does negate the effect of what you bring back, which isn't super relevant because Zombina and Goblin Zombie both check their effects in the graveyard. Doesn't matter if they're on the field. And King also can come back. Once it hits graveyard, you can banish a name to bring it back fully online with its effect. So Haunted Shrine's fantastic. One of my favorite cards in the format. I'm not playing an extra deck. My thought process there was I want you to hit my back row. If you hit a Haunted Shrine, that's fine. People were summoning breakers, so they would have hit the Book of Moon anyway. And I want you to not have any Sphere Karibo in your hand whenever I start pushing. So if you burn all your back row there, or your your hand, which is actually back row hate, and things like that, and allows you to kind of commit a little bit harder. Lets me know that I'm safe to start punching in with my kings whenever I'm ready to go. I think that's sound logic. Realistically, probably not a bad idea to still have the 6 there, because people are going to summon Breaker on you regardless, so it's probably best to just have the extra deck, but I digress. And then my side was 2 Sphere, Eradicating Aerosol, Defusion, and the pair of Lost Winds. As we were talking about a little bit after the format, this probably could have gone up to 1, and probably the other Sphere, so this should have been a second Aerosol, and this should have probably been a third Cyclone, or maybe a Night Beam even, theoretically, because my deck stalls and kind of controls the pace really well. Being able to, have such dedicated hate for XYZ and Moth respectively are a good way to stay alive. And then the game I took on the first place player here, Sean, I just didn't die until I drew into the Aerosol and turned it like in a turn. It was wild. So I would have liked to have been able to see a second one there in game 3 and possibly even taken the whole thing. And then Sphere Kuriboh blocking and attack just didn't matter. I already have enough chum blockers and recursion in my deck. I don't think it matters. Nobody's siding Crow, so I'm not losing my my Haunted Shrines Engrave or anything like that, or my targets. So these probably should have been better picked, and maybe that would have changed the outcome here. But overall, I was pretty impressed. But yeah, so that's my list. I'll probably be back with a similar list probably in the upcoming weeks here. I'm pretty unadventurous with what I play. This is my favorite deck of the format, so I'll probably just keep on it. But I just want to thank Sean real quick here in OddToxin Gaming for kind of organizing this thing. It's good to have locals back, and hopefully we can get this going pretty much every weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Austin. All right, guys,
Bye.
if you guys like this video, leave a like. If you like Austin, subscribe, because you're going to be seeing more of him throughout the weeks.
I hope so.
And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.